The air is warm, radios hum from open windows, and reggae drifts through streets that have seen generations come and go. Horace Andy still chooses to live close to this rhythm, a quiet life far removed from the noise his voice once commanded around the world. Known as one of reggae's most distinctive falsettos and later the soul behind global trip-hop classics, Andy built a legacy without spectacle. To understand how that voice was formed, and why it still carries such weight, we have to go back to where his journey began. Horace Andy was born Horace Keith Hines on February 19, 1951, in Kingston, Jamaica, right in the heart of Trenchtown, a neighborhood where music wasn't entertainment, it was survival. Sound systems spilled into the streets. Voices carried stories before they carried fame. And from an early age, Andy was listening closely. Music ran through his family. His cousin, Justin Hines, was already a respected ska singer, and the young Horace grew up surrounded by the voices of Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, and Alton Ellis. He didn't try to sound like them. Instead, he found something else, an unusually high, fragile falsetto that felt almost vulnerable. He practiced it quietly, often singing in church as a teenager, learning control, restraint, and emotional timing long before studios entered the picture. His first step into the industry came in 1967, at just 16, when he recorded This Is a Black Man's Country for producer Phil Pratt. The song went nowhere, no radio push. For many young artists, that would have been the end. For Horace Andy, it was simply the beginning of a longer road. Persistence paid off in 1970. After a failed group audition at Studio One, Andy returned alone days later and sang Got to Be Sure. Coxsone Dodd heard something different. He offered Andy a deal and a new name. Horace Andy, partly inspired by Bob Andy, but more importantly, a signal that this voice deserved its own identity. Between 1970 and 1972, Andy released a run of singles at Studio One that quietly reshaped roots reggae. See a Man's Face, Night Owl, Fever, and Mr. Bassey didn't rely on force. They lingered. Then came Skylarking. Originally tucked into a compilation, the song exploded, climbing to the top of the Jamaican charts and cementing Horace Andy as a singular presence in reggae. The rest of the 1970s were built on collaboration and consistency. Andy recorded with producers across Kingston, but his most important creative partnership was with Bunny Lee. Together, they crafted enduring classics like You Are My Angel, Zion Gate, and I've Got to Get Away. These weren't just hits, they were mood pieces, songs that felt lived in. By 1977, Andy relocated to Hartford, Connecticut, continuing to record while raising a family. His work with producer Everton De Silva produced the acclaimed In the Light album, but the partnership ended abruptly when De Silva was murdered in 1979. Once again, Andy absorbed loss and kept moving forward. He launched his own rhythm label and continued recording through the 1980s, quietly outlasting many of his peers. Then came the unexpected second life of his career. In the 1990s, British collective Massive Attack discovered that Horace Andy's voice fit perfectly inside the darker, slower world of trip-hop. His vocals appeared across all 5 of their albums, most memorably on Angel from Mezzanine, a reimagining of his earlier work. A new generation found him without ever knowing his past. Even in his 70s, Horace Andy never stopped. Albums like Midnight Rocker, 2022, proved that his voice hadn't aged, it had deepened. And through it all, one thing remained constant. No matter how far the music traveled, Horace Andy always returned home. Next, we step inside his Kingston life, the place that kept the voice grounded. Kingston Home. His home sits on a 4,164 square foot plot in a quiet suburban pocket of Kingston, far from noise, but never far from the city's pulse. The house includes 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, arranged with simplicity and purpose. Nothing here is designed to impress strangers. Everything is designed to support daily life. The first thing that stands out is the garden. It's modest, but alive. Thick greenery, flowering plants, and a mango tree heavy with fruit give the property a sense of patience and continuity. This is a garden meant to be touched, not photographed. Water is included through the WA, making it easy to tend the space, grow vegetables, and stay connected to the land. Small rituals that quietly anchor the day. The house itself reinforces that pace. Covered patios at both the front and rear offer space to sit with a cup of coffee, watch birds move through the trees, or simply let time pass. Inside, The kitchen is clean and functional, equipped with stainless steel appliances and artificial stone countertops, modern but restrained. Bathrooms are elegantly tiled. Ceilings rise high enough to let light and air circulate. Cedar-lined walk-in closets add warmth where it matters, not where it shows. This is a home that has been maintained, not reinvented. In 2021, the roof, water heater, and refrigerator were all newly installed, practical updates that speak to long-term thinking. Storage space in the roof garage holds beach essentials and everyday items, small reminders that life here is active, not ornamental. Location matters, too. While the neighborhood remains peaceful, the city center is only minutes away. Studios, shops, family connections, and daily necessities are easily accessible. It's a balance many artists search for but few maintain: privacy without isolation. For decades, Horace Andy lived between Hartford, Connecticut, where he settled in 1977, and Ladbroke Grove in London, where he based himself from 1985. He traveled constantly, returning to Jamaica for recording sessions and creative resets. Today, sources suggest that Jamaica is once again his primary home. And with a life built on quiet consistency rather than spectacle, the next question naturally follows: how did Horace Andy turn decades of steady influence into financial stability? Income and net worth. After more than 50 years in music, his estimated net worth is commonly placed between $2 million and $5 million, though no single figure can be confirmed with certainty. A steady portion of Andy's income comes from music royalties and streaming. His catalog stretches from early Studio One classics to later roots reggae albums and global collaborations. Songs continue to circulate on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, bringing in consistent revenue long after their original release. The most financially significant chapter of his later career came through collaborations with Massive Attack. Tracks like Angel, Spying Glass, Five Man Army, and Safe from Harm introduced his voice to an entirely new audience. These projects brought not only performance fees but also long-term royalties and touring opportunities. Additional collaborations with producers such as Adrian Sherwood, including the critically praised Midnight Rocker, 2022, and figures like Mad Professor further reinforced his relevance in dub and trip-hop spaces. But Andy's financial story also includes conflict. In 2024, he publicly accused Trojan Records UK of withholding royalties owed to him for more than 40 years. The dispute led to legal action aimed at reclaiming earnings from some of his most important recordings. The case highlighted a familiar reality for many reggae artists of his generation: global success did not always translate into fair compensation. And with that kind of longevity comes responsibility. The next question isn't just what he earned, but how he chose to give back. Philanthropy. One of the most meaningful causes he has supported centers on music education for underprivileged children, particularly in Trenchtown, the historic neighborhood where reggae was born and where Andy himself grew up. Through a collaboration with 10,000 Lions, he became involved in the Equality and Justice Project, an initiative designed to place musical instruments directly into the hands of young people who otherwise wouldn't have access to them. Proceeds from the project are used to purchase acoustic guitars and djembe drums, simple tools with the power to open creative paths and offer direction in communities where opportunity is often limited. The project is further supported by the Becca Foundation, led by the family of the late Alton Ellis, another giant of Jamaican music. Their shared mission is clear: preserve Jamaica's musical legacy by investing in its future. Not through theory or speeches, but through instruments, mentorship, and access. For Horace Andy, this work is personal. It is about ensuring that talent, wherever it is born, has a chance to be heard. Beyond music-focused efforts, Andy's philanthropic worldview aligns with broader community health and resilience in Jamaica. Organizations like the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, which has spent more than 50 years combating cardiovascular disease, the nation's leading cause of death, reflect values he supports publicly. Through education, research, and community fundraising events, the foundation works to prevent illness before it starts. Similarly, the Jamaica Red Cross, active since 1948, continues to provide critical humanitarian aid across the island. From disaster response and healthcare services to HIV, AIDS awareness and prevention programs, the organization plays a key role in strengthening communities during moments of crisis. While Andy does not place himself at the center of these efforts, his advocacy and alignment with such causes underscore a consistent belief: culture cannot survive without care. And that sense of balance, between legacy and humility, carries directly into his private world. To understand the man fully, the final piece lies not in public service, but in how he has chosen to live, love, and protect his life. Personal life. Andy has been married twice. His first marriage was to Claudette Hines, and in 1977 the couple moved to Hartford, Connecticut, a turning point that allowed him to continue recording while expanding his reach beyond Jamaica. During this period, he worked closely with producer Everton De Silva, releasing some of his most respected material. The marriage eventually ended, though Andy has rarely spoken publicly about the reasons or timeline. As with much of his personal life, details were kept deliberately out of view. His second marriage was to Caroline Hines, whom he married after separating from Claudette. In 1985, Andy and Caroline relocated to Ladbroke Grove, London, immersing themselves in a different cultural environment while he continued to record and tour internationally. Some accounts suggest the couple later settled in Madison, Wisconsin, reflecting the nomadic rhythm of Andy's career. Reports indicate that he and Caroline had at least 2 children together, both described as talented dancers, though sources differ on the exact number. What remained largely unknown until recently was the full scope of Andy's family. In a candid interview on the Entertainment Report podcast in July 2024, he revealed a startling truth: he has 30 children with 17 different women. "I have 20 daughters and 10 sons," he said plainly, adding that his youngest child was just 4 years old at the time. The admission surprised many, but Andy framed it without bravado or apology. Instead, he emphasized responsibility. "One thing," he said, "I take care of them. They don't have to beg anyone for anything. I'm always there for them." His children were born across the United States and the United Kingdom, mirroring the international life he led for decades. Andy's life has not been without controversy, but it has rarely been personal scandal. Instead, his disputes have centered on fairness and justice in the music industry. In 2023, during his acceptance speech at the JARIA, Jamaican Reggae Industry Association, Awards, he publicly criticized the late producer Bunny Lee and Trojan Records over what he described as nearly 4 decades of unpaid royalties. The issue, widely reported, including by The Guardian, was tied to expired contracts, label bankruptcies, and systemic exploitation rather than individual wrongdoing. Andy used the moment not to settle scores, but to expose a larger truth: many reggae pioneers were celebrated worldwide while being underpaid at home. Horace Andy's story reminds us that true legacy isn't built on noise, but on consistency, faith, and staying rooted in who you are. If you enjoyed this journey, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Which Horace Andy song still speaks to you today? Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.